Hi, thanks for tuning in. This is PEP Talks. I'm Sarah Workman-Ciccone. I'm a certified personality type and temperament instructor, coach, and consultant. And I only have 5 minutes to talk, and you probably only have 5 minutes to listen. So we'll get right to it. PEP Talks is Parents Empowered by Personality Type Awareness, Learning, and Knowledge. So basically what we're doing here is I've taken my private sessions with families and couples and clients, and I'm bringing them to YouTube through video tutorials to learn more about what personality type is and how we can use it to decode behavior, unravel misunderstandings, and strengthen the relationships with the people we love the most. Believe it or not, the greatest number of misunderstandings happen with the people we're closest to, because we start to expect that because we love each other, we naturally understand each other, and anything that happens out of line of our expectations was intentional, offensive, neglectful, or some sort of personal slight. Not true. We all have our own way of looking at the world, and once we're aware of that with type awareness, wow, we can really understand where the other person's coming from, where we're coming from, and learn how to communicate in a more encouraging way, as well as being willing to forgive ourselves, our daily, hourly, minute-by-minute mistakes and missteps, as well as that of others, and start enjoying the good that's happening rather than getting sucked into the trap of guilt about what's not working. So, as I said, we're going to keep it to 5 minutes and try and do our pep talks semi-daily, perhaps weekly if need be. So a quick overview today about personality type generally. The concept and theory of personality type was developed by Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. For people that don't enjoy background, this will be fast. Please just bear with me. Some people love background. And Jung theorized, having been a former student of Sigmund Freud, that in fact people were not all motivated by pleasure and action and desire, but rather had different ways of getting their energy, getting their information, making decisions, and later on was added dealing with their outer world. So Jung theorized that he really started with 3 dichotomies of personality type, and then the 4th was added by Catherine Briggs and her daughter Isabel Briggs-Myers. Okay, background done. Now we're going to talk about the meat and potatoes of personality type. As I said, 4 dichotomies, 8 preferences. So what this means is everybody, according to the theory, has a certain way that they prefer to give and get energy, whether it's extroversion, outside themselves, or introversion, inwardly. Different ways they prefer to take in information, through their 5 senses, focusing on the present facts and details, or through their intuition, looking conceptually at possibilities and greater meaning. Different ways of preferring to make decisions. Does a person prefer to use detached logic, objective criteria, or do they think more in a value-driven way, looking at subjective perspectives and effects on people? And then for the final dichotomy, how does that person prefer to interact with the outer world? Do they prefer to bring closure and order to their world with judging, or do they prefer to explore their world and leave their options open through perceiving? Okay, that was a very quick overview. And in the next session, we're going to talk more about this first dichotomy, extraversion and introversion. The important thing to remember as you proceed with personality type is to remember the limitations of it. Personality type is not an answer for everything. It doesn't explain everything. This pertains to normal, functional behavior. This doesn't take into account any sort of extra diagnoses or situations. It does pertain to people under greater amounts of stress, but basically we're dealing with daily interaction and daily life. Know this too. That's number 1 disclaimer. And the number 2 thing to remember is we all do all of this. We all extrovert. We all introvert. We all sense. We all intuit. We all think. We all feel. We all judge. We all perceive. And our children do too. But what do we prefer? And how are we reading each other's behavior? Quick example before we close. If you have a child that's more of an introvert, and they have a teacher that's more of an extrovert, and that teacher, through no, willful, deliberate disagreement, just simply isn't aware of the validity of introversion and that style of energy and behavior. When the introvert goes into class and the extroverted teacher says, "Who can tell me about what we read last night? Does anyone have anything to contribute?" And your introverted child did the homework, is prepared, doesn't raise their hand, that teacher might misinterpret the introvert's behavior as disagreeable, lazy, unmotivated, unwilling to participate, when the truth is that the introverted child prefers to be working in small groups, have their thoughts organized before they contribute, process internally. And it could be that the extroverted teacher marks the introverted child down on class participation simply due to a misunderstanding. Now, you've probably already experienced those sorts of misunderstandings, but haven't been able to pin down what is the underlying framework that explains that. Personality, type, and temperament will help explain that. And once we're aware of those differences, we can stop trying to push our children to change and more help them feel prepared to advocate for themselves and work within their situations. For example, if the extroverted teacher, it's very important to them that the children participate in class discussions, maybe you and your child could find out beforehand what the questions might be, and the child could prepare a certain answer to a certain question the teacher's going to ask, so the child participates but feels that sense of preparedness that they need to feel competent and comfortable in that situation. So there's a little hint to where we're going with this, using type and temperament to help unravel those misunderstandings, learn from conflict, improve our communication, strengthen our relationships, and loose ourselves from the drive to change and alter the very fundamental assets that we and our children already possess. We all can achieve anything using any part of these personality traits. Anyone can do whatever they want to do. US presidents have had all these different traits. Entertainers, comedians, writers, scientists, all sorts of folks come from all kinds of backgrounds. But the difference was they were okay with who they were willing to be confident in their own skills and proceed in a functional way. And that's what we want for ourselves and our children, is for them to recognize who they are and be able to work with their natural assets to achieve their goals and support ourselves and them as we do it. So thank you for attending our first pep talk. It was great to have you, and I look forward to session 2. And by the way, and this is the pep talk portion, as parents, we are working so hard every day, and no matter what we do, seems like something always explodes. But no matter what, the fact that you and I and we are still willing to reach out and learn more and be there for our families, that's what matters. And so it's not what we did or didn't do, it's the process. It's being willing to put ourselves out there and keep trying and work to accept and embrace our children and ourselves as we are. And that leads to a real living relationship. So cheers to you, good job, that's what it's all about, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.